Hello, my name is Martyr, and this is Let's Play Kaiju-A-GoGo, and thank you for watching. Kaiju-A-GoGo is an action strategy game, guys. It lets you destroy cities. Nay, it lets you destroy nations. Nay, it lets you destroy the world, guys. You play a mad scientist who basically has spawned some sort of, giant monster, and your job is simple: world domination. Is it easy, though? Not really. Is it grindy? A little bit. Is it fun, though? Yes. But the game does have certain issues here and there, kind of, and we'll talk about those as we get deeper into the video, guys. Kaiju-A-GoGo released on Steam April 2015. It was developed and published by Kerberos Productions. I don't know how to pronounce the name. I'm retarded. I apologize. Kerberos Productions, I think it's pronounced. You can go ahead and buy Kaiju-A-GoGo on Steam for $12.99, guys. Now, in a weird way, this game isn't complete quite yet. There is more kaijus coming into this game, but not only that, there's just certain things in areas in the game that I feel like could have used a little bit more polish, and that just kind of have weird, little wonky issues here and there. Now, we're going to, of course, start off with the options, but you can always click on the big red button on the top left there, and it'll take you straight to the action, guys. But as far as options go, there really isn't much to speak of. You have no resolution control. It basically just snaps to whatever your native resolution is, which is, for me, is 1080p. You have some sound sliders and some graphics controls, but then again, it's not necessarily a game that needs graphics controls. It's a rather simplistic looking game, and this is basically all you're going to get as far as options go. If you're a person who enjoys a lot of options, you're just not going to get it in this case. There's an awards button down here. Kind of shows you all the achievements that you can get for, destroying certain things here and there. Let's go ahead and load up into my current game. Normally when you choose a new game, I'd imagine that you probably get to choose your kaiju, guys. So this is it. This is the world, basically. Your job is to conquer the world. How do you do that? Obviously, you send your kaiju there, you smash enough stuff, the town has like a morale, and then it kind of switches over to your side. And you can basically see that which cities are conquered by kind of like this little purple mad scientist looking dude. That's your guy. And that's how you know that you've conquered that particular city. Now, each city has a tier to it, basically. So, like, New York is a tier 5 city. So, basically, the more famous the city, the more difficult it's going to be to take out. Like Tokyo, New York, New Delhi, Cairo. Basically, the more popular it is, the more difficult it's going to be to take out. And then you have cities that are a little bit more easier. They're like kind of the green flags. They basically are just tier 1 cities. Those are the ones that you kind of have to start off with. And you kind of farm those cities is the best way to describe it, because you're looking to gain resources. And these resources are very, very important to your secret base, which is what you're looking at right here. Now, I haven't played around with the secret base all too terribly much. I kind of screwed around with it a little bit. Basically, the idea is that you want to expand your base out so that way you can have resources to, well, basically build a bigger, better base. And the reason for this is important is that I think it's like year 5, which I'm still in year 1. I've been playing the game for at least a good, I feel like 2 or 3 hours. It might be less, but the reason that's important is because eventually the nations are not going to just sit there and let you kick their ass. They're actually going to start sending forces to take out your little secret base here, which is on the world map, Island X. They're going to start sending forces to kick your ass. So you actually need to build up this base. You actually need to start preparing it, and by building stuff on it. Defenses eventually, you need to start building turrets and being able to kind of come and ready for the apocalypse, as it were, as they will start to attack you as much as you are attacking them with your kaiju. You can basically click on a building and kind of bring up a tooltip, and let you know what that building is going to produce, how much it's going to cost per month. It's not necessarily the world's strongest thing. It's kind of simplistic. I'm not huge. It's not my favorite part of the game. The base building part is really not my favorite part of the game. There's a lot of buildings though for you to kind of construct, and for you to kind of, so people who enjoy that base building aspect to it will have maybe an enjoyable experience with it. I'm not really sure if there's a summary page. Oh, yes, there is. Okay, there's a summary page right here. That shows you basically how much your crap is all going to cost you to produce if you need a particular type of, production. Like, for instance, I'm producing only 150 biomatter. Support cost is 225, so I'm going to need more of this crap to support my base. I have barely enough power going through my base, so you can see basically you just kind of need to kind of balance your base out. So, for instance, let's go ahead and build an organics farm. Oops, I clicked on the wrong button. That's okay. We'll just go back here. Organics farm, and then we'll place it. We'll grab it. And we're like, okay, we want our organics thing there, and then it'll confirm it, and that'll be under construction. We're like, oh, well, that's going to require more power, though. We're going to need to build more power. So we're going to build another power plant. So we're going to have to build that somewhere. We're going to put the power plant. Probably should not have put that building there originally. We'll put the power plant there. Perfect. Fantastic. And that's kind of just a basic sum of the entire base building aspect. Let's talk about the kaiju, though. That's the point of this game. This is Ginormosaurus. It's basically being for the word ginormous. He basically is your kaiju. Basically, at least your first one. They're gonna be adding 2 more eventually. I think 1 in May and then 1 in June. And he can basically train. He can kind of get new abilities to kind of enhance his powers. And there is a schmuck ton of powers for you to unlock here. I have barely touched the surface of these powers. I should say, barely scratched the surface, I should say. And you basically unlock powers by basically training your kaiju. So, for instance, you can see how big this training will eventually get. You can kind of zoom in and zoom out. Eventually it goes up to tier 5 training. You, of course, have to build bigger and better training facilities for you to get access to a lot of stuff. So, the next one for me will cost 550,000 bucks, 120 power units, 250 knowledge. It looks like it's just a shit ton of stuff for basically me to build that. And that's kind of what you're doing for the first, at least for the first part of the game. You're kind of just building up the space. It's very grindy. To be brutally honest with you guys, it's just really grindy because you're basically just going to these towns, you're conquering them, and then you're going back to base just to build up your base so that way you can get more abilities for your kaiju, so that way you can go back out again and get more resources to essentially just kind of rinse and repeat till year 5, when I feel like the game probably takes, actually starts kicking ass and taking names. Where they start sending enemy kaijus at you, or kaiju-esque monsters. I haven't seen them. It's year 5 into the game. I'm not gonna play it that long, but that's what I've heard. You basically start sending monsters at you. They start sending armies at you to kick your ass. But enough of that. Let's get into the friggin' conquering of cities. We're gonna go attack Albuquerque here. We're gonna transfer some power into our kaiju. We only need about 80 power. We should be okay with that. And then you have little options here like speed up. So we can say, okay, we're gonna start speeding up time here. We can jack it up to max. So that way we can just get this thing going here. There we go. We're going to attack Albuquerque. I'm sorry for all my viewers from Albuquerque, but it had to go. So let's talk about what you're looking at right here. There's a lot of things to be looking at right here. On the top right is the city's morale, which basically is kind of a representation of how much health the city has. Your overall objective is to just basically kick the city's ass, and kind of convert it to your side eventually. And you do that by basically kind of clicking around the map. The control schemes in this game is the issue with this game, I feel. It's just not really great. The control schemes could be better. But yeah, basically your overall goal is just, you can see, I kind of left click on an area of the map. You see a big green arrow forms. He starts heading that way. But I can also use powers, which are on the bottom here of the screen here. So boosters, I-beams, and looks like there's that plasmoids. So let's go ahead and use plasmoids here. We'll shoot a plasmoid in this direction. You can see basically each power basically uses up a little bit of power as you use them. I wish you could get a tooltip to see how much they use, but you kind of can't right now. It uses a bit of power, and power of course is generated by your base, which of course helps run your base. So it's also, you have to be kind of careful how much power you use up in the middle of combat, which it works. Look at that. That was pretty freaking cool. I like that aspect to it. I like that just blew up massively. I like the combat. I like the way things explode in this game. It's really fun to just kind of run around blowing shit up, for sure, guys. But yeah, you have your powers down here. On the top left is the damage counter, I guess you could say, like how much city damage you've caused. I also really like this because it kind of gives you like a live heads-up view of how jacked up the city is now. Am I being attacked? Of course I am. By this tank here. Let's see if we can blast the tank. Yeah, we can blast the tank, thank God. You can kind of right-click on enemies, by the way, to kind of lock onto them. It gives you a little bit more control of your character. Oh, get down here. Why don't you collect this? Collect this. So, the issues with me for this game are the controls. The controls are just... they're not great. You kind of just left-click on the map, and he kind of just goes there and does stuff, and it's sometimes very difficult to target enemies. I mean, that right-clicking feature allows you to kind of lock on enemies is great, but, right there, for example, I had him right-clicked, so as a target, but because there's buildings in the way, the buildings got hit first. before he got hit. And that is a little frustrating. Again, I thought I lasered that guy. I guess I did, maybe? I'm not really sure. The targeting and control scheme, it's just not the world's greatest thing in the world. Especially when you have like little hidden enemies behind buildings like this, it makes it difficult to spot them. You're not really sure if you hit them or not. That is another kind of frustrating aspect. But for the most part, you have, of course, those like giant cities to destroy. You have those landmarks to destroy. You go to New York, you're probably going to see the Statue of Liberty. You go to Paris, France, you're probably going to see the Eiffel Tower. And in that regard, it is really friggin' cool. And I mean, for the most part, the game does essentially accomplish what it was set out for. It was set out for, basically, which is, you know, a world domination. It's a very simplistic game. I'm sure, you know, it has more to come to it. I would like to see more complexity and being attacked like big time by the army there. And that's the other thing about the game. As you kind of start playing the game, the more time you spend in a city, by the way, the more you're going to get attacked. The more you're going to get kind of screwed over. I'm going to try to hit this guy from distance. The more you're going to get screwed over, possibly. You need to kind of just start using your resources as best as you can, because to destroying the city as quickly as you can, but at the same time, battling the army, destroying the city, and managing your resources at all times. Here, we've got an attack chopper. I want to keep that targeted. That's that kind of weird thing about the game. Sometimes the enemy does like weird things, like gets stuck on like walls and stuff. It's hilarious, to be honest with you. I'm like right there in front of that guy. I don't understand it. Targeting flying enemies in this game is the weirdest thing in the world. Could you please shoot that guy? There we go. I do love that like planes crash and explode and wipe out other buildings. I think that's really neat. So as you can see, basically, we're kind of going around. We're collecting 5 different kinds of resources. We're collecting cash, we're collecting knowledge, we're collecting biomatter, we're collecting power. Again, these are all resources that you use for your base. Let's go over here. I want to target that big building. And you basically, that's kind of the gist of it. It's a little bit grindy, at least at first, because you have to kind of develop your kaiju. It's not a game that you don't start off. I think you start off with like what? I mean 1 power, which is your plasmid power, your plasmoid power. And I think that might be a little bit thing that I have an issue with. I wish you could start off with a little bit more powers. I think give it a little bit more, just an immediate fun factor. I think is the kind of thing. And you want to reward the player for, you know, just automatically for just turning the game on, kind of in a weird way. You kind of want to have that aspect to where, you know, you already feel like you're a badass. Yes, I mean, leave room for improvement, obviously, but at the same time, that is a lot of Jeeps, damn. That is a lot of Jeeps, man. Holy crap. I'm gonna get one of you. Gonna activate my innate abilities here. Yeah, I took out 2 of you little bastards. Plasmoid that guy. Oh, look at that. Oh, you can't do nothing. You can't do... Oh, you're dead. Could you collect that, please? So yeah, I mean, the control scheme is just is the first complaint I have with this game. It could be better. I wish it was better, and I hope it's something that gets improved upon as they kind of move forward in this game. Could you just shoot in that general direction? Really, the fact that you can barely target your enemies is another frustrating aspect to me. I cannot, for the life of me, target these guys right now. Even though I'm like right beside them, I, for some reason or another, cannot target them. They're blowing me to shit, by the way. I have a health bar, which right there is that little green thing right there. Oh, could you please move forward? DEFCON 4! Oh no, they're gonna start calling bombers and stuff. I got him, I think. Keep smashing stuff, Kaiju! You can do it! I believe in you! You have the power! So you basically gather resources like this. You just start trying to destroy the city's morale. I'm doing a pretty decent job, but I am taking probably a little too long. But that's okay, because again, you're going to be kind of going back and forth, collecting resources, upgrading your kaiju, then heading back out into the field to, you know, kick more ass. And it's kind of a rinse-repeat type of situation. And the thing is that, yeah, you eventually start facing other kaiju. I think that's really neat. I wish it was a little bit sooner, perhaps, in the game, or just make it a little bit more quicker to get to that point, because it has a little bit of grind to it. I'm not gonna lie, the game has a little bit of grind to it. All right, we're gonna. I think we're gonna patooties, kicked here. We're kind of getting destroyed. A lot of enemies around us. Let's see if we can blast some of them apart here. There we go. Take that, sir. All right. Yeah, you can zoom in really close, and I will say that I do kind of like the graphics. They kind of like this comic book esque sensibility to them, and I kind of enjoy that aspect to it. Can we like move away? Like move towards this edge of the city? Run, Kaiju! That's right, hit the gas station, that's good. Yeah, baby. Good job, yes, excellent. More reinforcements, for God's sakes! They already have enough reinforcements! Destroy my Kaiju, yes! Yeah, oh god, what is that? That's a Panzer tank! Now, we basically have the option to kind of head towards the edge of the city, where we will, of course, gather up all the resources that we've got. We've got, like, no cash so far, which is bad. I will say that much. That is very bad. Oh, for God's sakes, could you please target that thing? That is one tough-ass tank. Okay, we're getting out of here. We're getting out of here! Go! Go! Stop destroying shit and go! Go! What are you doing? Stop it! Okay. Yes, leave Albuquerque. Now, if I were to die, by the way, those are the resources we got. I would have basically lost all the resources I had. I'd have had a long respawn time. You basically would have taken the head back to the island X, as it were, and they would have restarted rebuilding the Kaiju. So you basically only brought in about 40,000 bucks. That was very disappointing, Ginormosaurus, whatever your name is. It's okay though. We'll forgive you for now. And of course, they're going to start repairing Ginormosaurus here back at the secret base, which is going to take 3 days. They're still also building all that stuff up that I kind of told them to build. So let's fast forward time here, and then we'll probably go ahead and grab a new ability, and then we'll attack something like really big. You can save, by the way. There's multiple save spots, which I will say is nice. I will say this is a pretty sweet game. What I like about it is that it's probably good for kids. I think it's really approachable. Just about anybody can kind of get something out of this game, even though it does have that complexity to it at the same time. So let's go ahead and let's get Plasma Fire. Let's get that. It's going to cost us 35,000 bucks, 40 power, 40 knowledge, some biomatter. It's going to take 9 days to learn. Good God. Okay, well, that's just the price you pay. So we're going to speed up time here. Okay, that's nice. Let's check out a summary so far. We'll make sure we're in the clear. Yeah, looks like we're in the clear. We're doing pretty good. Alright, good. Go back to base. Train, my Kaiju, train! But yeah, other than the major complaint of the kind of the control scheme, graphically, like I said, I like the fact you can kind of zoom in. It has like this comic book-esque feeling to it, all the buildings and the way things explode. I would like to see buildings kind of falling level by level a little bit, kind of like Rampage style. I think it's kind of funny how they just instantly disappear. There's poof, gone. You'll see what I mean in a bit. Let's go ahead and head towards a tier 5 city. I'm going to save, of course, because we're probably going to get our asses kicked, but I think it'll be fun. Let's head to New York. We're going to take all the power we need, baby. Just take all the power we need. And then he's going to head towards New York. It's graphically speaking, it's pretty nice. Like I said, it has that kind of comic book-esque feeling to it. Musically, it's just about on par. I think it's pretty good. The game does feature Steamy goodness, by the way. It does feature Steam cards, and I do believe Steam achievements as well. Come on, attack New York. Let's do this. New York is prepared for your attack. Holy crap. Yeah, are they prepared for this? I don't think so. I'm taking out the freaking Statue of Liberty first. Oh, yes. What the hell happened? There's a glitch there. Bye, Statue of Liberty. Oh, look at you. You're gone. Statue of Liberty. Holy crap. Oh, my God. Okay. We've taken out the Statue of Liberty. Let's go. Oh, my God. Let's go after this. Let's go after the Empire State Building. Holy crap. Could you turn around and kill that guy? Oh, my God. He's tough. Wow, they are super tough. Oh my God, they obliterated me. They just obliterated me. Look at that, though. It's kind of cool, though. It's New York, baby. That city I was born in, baby. New York. Good God, it's huge. Central Park right there. Super cool. We got our asses kicked. But to be honest with you, that was kind of expected. I'm like a less than tier 1 monster taking on a tier 5 city. Yeah, so he's gonna get his ass kicked. He guys rebuilding. You can also see kind of there's like little things floating around, by the way, the little mini map. I don't know if I can see them right now. But like right there, okay. There's like a little attack fleet right there. You can attack them, basically take them out to kind of like take out other resources. I'm not really sure what attacking them does. I'm not sure if it makes things easier, or maybe if that's just like they can accidentally like run into Island X and attack it. I'm not really sure what those represent, but you do have the option to attack those fleets if you do come upon them. We got our asses kicked, by the way, pretty brutally. That was harsh. That was super harsh, man. But yeah, I mean, it's an enjoyable game. It's simplistic. It's a little grindy, but it's enjoyable. I mean, who doesn't love kaijus? Who doesn't love, you know, having this many friggin' powers and abilities to kind of mess around with? I think it's kind of a vast tree, and that's what I kind of like about it. I think there's a lot of complexity to the different kinds of kaijus that you can come up with, and different kinds of combinations of powers or passives or, you know, defensive abilities. It has a really awesome amount of customization for your kaiju as far as skills goes. I also know, I think his appearance changes a little bit as you add new abilities to him and you upgrade him. I think his appearance changes as well, which is also pretty freaking sweet. But yeah, I mean, it just has a lot of grindy aspects to it. There's a lot of, it's a slow build up. It's very slow. And that's something I wish that was a little bit different. I wish there was maybe, like, you know, you could just kind of start off at least a little bit more badass than you already are. At least have like 3 basic powers instead of just 2. I mean, it's just instead of 1. I mean, just give you a couple more basic powers. Kind of start off, feel like a badass when you first start playing the game. But yeah, I mean, it's a simplistic game. You have that base management aspect to it if you enjoy that kind of thing. I'm not a huge fan of it, but I'm more of a fan of just smashing crap. But I mean, it is there for you to enjoy. And it does become a very necessary, vital part of the game, too. So that can also affect the kind of the smashing part of the game. So it really, you have to kind of play both sides. Even though this isn't necessarily my favorite side, you do unfortunately have to play both sides of the game. But I mean, later on, you have that, after like 5 years, they start attacking you. It starts becoming a little bit more, you know, you have to play defensively as much as you're playing offensively. It can get pretty interesting. Plus, they're adding more content to the game. There's 2 more kaiju monsters coming, from what I understand. And hopefully they'll just, you know, kind of fix those control issues, fix those targeting of enemies in the field issues. Just like, you know, something to specifically say attack the people around you. Or maybe that's kind of done on purpose, I'm not really sure, but it does make it frustrating when something's hiding behind a building, you can't see it, for example, and things like that, guys. So I just want to say big thanks to the developer for a chance to check out this game. Thank you for watching. Remember to subscribe and share, guys, and I'll keep bringing you awesome indie games, guys. If you really enjoyed this video, maybe consider hitting up that tip jar. If you're feeling generous of heart, all tips go to improving the channel or future giveaways. Till next time, guys, play more indie games.